Hello, good people. Welcome back to another episode of Riverbed Wrestling. This week on the podcast, we are going to be talking about AEW Revolution 2026 that just happened this past weekend. My name is Sebastian, joined by my two co-hosts. In the blue corner, we got King. King, what's up? What's happening?
I got a Woody right here, right now.
Nice. Oh. And in the red corner, the lovable co-host himself, Brandon.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you for calling me a nice name.
Yes. Now, we finally got you back awake from last week. Woke up just in time.
I've been asleep since last week.
Yeah, we woke you up just in time for the show. So, good timing on that part.
It's just in time, man. It's just in time.
Exactly. So, you should be well rested and you're not going to fall asleep during this show,
You've been in
right?
the Justin position.
I'm in the Justin position, and it is just in time.
Indeed. Well, let's get to some news here. And we got to start off with some rough shit, because last week when we first uploaded this, the 10th episode of the Riverbed Wrestling series, about an hour later, when I was in line at the grocery store for getting a 12-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper, I looked on my phone. What do you mean, ooh? What's the nectar of the gods?
Woo.
Ah, nice. While I was in line, I saw on Twitter that fucking OVW be fucking up big time. Turns out one of their refs got hit in the face during a match, ended up getting a brain hemorrhage that caused a seizure to happen, and there was, to put it lightly, not enough action from the wrestlers at hand, and he was just laying there for a bit. So this is pretty much old discourse, old news at this point. It's been a week, you know how the news cycle goes in wrestling, but I felt like if it still needed to be done to highlight just some unprofessional business going on. And it's a rough video whenever you watch it. Anybody got any 2 cents on this one?
That sucks, man. I hate boo.
Actually,
that ref.
No, not the ref.
Boo this ref. We hate the ref.
No, he was like the one guy not at fault here. What the fuck?
Exposed the business.
That's what you're mad at him at? Okay. Well, somebody you can be mad at as well.
Hope he gets better, man.
Yeah.
I hope he gets better, man. And please, let's all prayer for 3 seconds to honor him like a ref counts for 3 seconds.
1, 2... Kick out. Prayer doesn't count. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want something to laugh at with this story here, one of the silver linings of this is just showing how much of a dork Al Snow is. Because on his main Twitter page, he released a statement regarding the incident, and I will read to you word for word the known non-AI prompt words that were in the statement. Quote, "Hello, everyone. This is Al Snow." And then the rest of it was used making AI. So that's his statement there.
Hello, this is Al Snow. That's it?
The only edited bits that he typed himself.
Wow.
But if you want
Did you see the video? I have a piece of news.
Do you? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Did you see the video? It's not really a piece of news. It's did you see the video?
Of what?
Did you see the video of John Laurinaitis using AI to make his fucking book signing, whatever he was doing?
Oh yeah, I did. King, are you made aware of this?
Somebody's gotta find that video. He made me aware of this.
Did you see the video? That's a new part. That's a new segment of the week, guys. Did you see the video?
You're gonna have to superimpose a clip of that, Sebi.
I know.
Yes, Sebi.
Just more work for me at 1 a.m. But it's all right. I chose this line of path, this line of work.
Yeah, every week, guys.
This line of path.
Damn it! Now I have to keep that in too. Fuck.
This is soon enough in the video where people might actually comment about this. But
Yeah.
comment if you want to see more. Did you see that video?
Comment below. And we will have some viewer comments for the halftime segment. But if we want some good news on hand, let's get to this. We have another dual contract to talk about here regarding old AEW and CMLL. But this time, it is an AEW wrestler signing a dual contract with CMLL, one Claudio Castagnoli. He's been their heavyweight champion as of late, representing the CMLL brand, and it seems as though he'll be within the fold to be doing more CMLL stuff, as he recently signed a dual contract with them. His appearances there have been a nice treat to see on the old Arena Mexico cards, and definitely happy to see more of him in that environment.
Yeah, man. And you saw he has the mask?
Yeah.
He has the mask now that he's going to wear to the ring like everywhere, and he's for the rest of his career, he says, to represent this side of him.
What a guy. Yeah. What a beast.
Good for him. Good for you.
We got some more AEW centered news here. Now, this will be a very AEW latent show here. During the main seg, we'll be talking about AEW Revolution. And
it's like a pay-per-view happened or something.
Yeah, the AEW Revolution show happened this past weekend. We will be talking about that in length. But something we got to get out of the way here is one of their wrestlers got in a little bit of hot water as of late. One Ricochet, who, says stuff on his old Twitter page, has been known to jaw jack with random fans. And recently, he had a supposed Twitter troll in his mentions and replied to them, I'm glad you got MS, which he read their bio, said that they have MS, and used that for heat. And then, after which, he sent out an apology saying that he didn't mean to offend anybody, yada, 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 and that he'll be better in the future. Now, this is one of those, messy, online discourse things, so I won't spend too much time on it, but, anything that has been said about it has been already said.
MSC.
Multiple sclerosis. What else would it stand for?
I said it's
Mississippi.
Mississippi?
Mississippi. It should stand for Mississippi, I mean, honestly, right?
Yeah, well, Mississippi came before MS.
Did it? I'm not a doctor or a historian or a historian with a doctorate.
I've never known a life without Mississippi.
Well, yeah, you were born in 2000-ish.
Hey, don't dox me, man.
I'm not doxing. It's a generalized statement.
Next segment.
We're still on the news.
No, there's more news.
We can't just skip ahead past all this news. Otherwise, we'd be missing out on this old news segment here. Listen, we got to talk about.
Keep it rolling.
We got to talk about this. We got some more WrestleMania week shows coming up here, and one of them will be Death Vegas Invitacional. Obviously, the Deathmatch Invitational series heading to Las Vegas, and we have ourselves here a tag match set for the main event, pitting Starlight Kid and Dragon Kid against ELP and Maki Itoh in what I can only assume is a first of its kind match stipulation, where it is a deadly airtime and cutie crime high stakes heartbreak jackpot match. Now, I will read here the statement that New Japan put out about this, so you guys can get a little bit more background information. As the standing room only horseshoe on the Vegas Strip approaches a complete sellout for Death Vegas Invitational on April 16th, the first match has been revealed for what is going to be a chaotic and memorable night. It'll be a unique intergender tag with a family feel on April 16th, and one corner will be the Kid family of Dragon and Starlight Kid, respectively. This masked duo first teamed together at Despy Invitational back in June of 2024 when they defeated Mima Shimoda and Despy. And fast forward 2 years, their opponents in Vegas will be perhaps the cutest tag team in professional wrestling, ELP and Maki Itoh. This match rules: a deadly airtime cutie crime high stakes heartbreak jackpot match is something we have to admit not to having seen before. But unpredictability is the name of the game for Death Vegas, so we'll find out together then. Sold me on it. I'm ready to see that match.
All right, man. I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's an insane match type. I don't know what that's gonna be.
I don't know either. But on the topic
Crazy,
of...
it's near the end of March right now. We're almost in April. What the hell?
Yeah, this month has flown by. Like, it feels like first 2 months, absolute slog to get through. March, we're already damn near at the end of it. I guess that's
marching through it.
And
yeah, pretty much, honestly.
That's why they call it March.
Because we all have no control over our lives.
I guess,
You
yeah.
know what has no control over his rights? Sabu. You see, Sabu has a documentary to be released very soon. Why don't you tell us more about it, Mr. Bass?
I will.
Sebi, we call him Cebu sometimes.
No, you don't. There is a Sabu documentary covering his journey to his final match last year. He unfortunately passed soon after that. And it will be released soon on both Blu-ray and VHS. So, wide range there for formats it's being released on. And it will also be streaming online on the Roku channel. There will be a Sabu release party at the Nerd Bar in Las Vegas on Monday, April 20th. So, fitting tribute for him.
Shout out to the Nerd Bar.
And I'm actually, like, pretty excited to, like, see this. I'm obviously, whenever he passed last year, it was a huge fucking blow. Like, he's one of those guys that, like, never, like, you know, got enough, like, compensation for what he did for the industry and, like, the medium. So he was just always one of those guys where if you're in the industry, you might as well, like, you know, pay for his lunch or whatever. Like, he just means that much to a lot of people. And I'm excited to see this documentary at hand. And maybe, you know, we'll watch together and we can review it at a later point.
I think that sounds like a plan.
Well, there are plans set for the New Japan G1 Climax 36 this year as one of the dates they are performing not in Japan, but in the U.S., in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. They are going to be going there on July 11th. So, hey, if you're in the Chicago metro area and you want to see some New Japan, you want to see some G1 action, why don't you stroll on over to the Now Arena and see some. We will obviously be covering G1 this year. It should come as no surprise. It's the biggest tournament in wrestling. So I'm excited to see how that transfers over to an American audience, especially if it's mainline, you know, G1. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do
shit.
Yeah.
I think
And
they're going to have the GLP G1.
Gel Phantasmo?
GLP. You don't know what a GLP is, man?
Great lover of pussy? I don't know.
Fucking, what's it called?
You never had a GLP-1 before?
You never had a GLP-1. Reggaglutide, whatever it's called.
You know what? I'm starting to...
Unfortunately...
I'm starting to wish we went to the next segment. Right before we get into the next segment, we're going to brush up on some of the injuries that have happened within the past week.
Somebody's hurt?
This is Sebi's favorite segment of the week.
It's not. I feel like it's necessary to update the people.
He revels in it.
I don't.
We're like, yes, whenever there's an injury, he's like, yeah.
I mean, it's part of the medium, but
yes, more injuries, yes.
man, I'd rather be doing the fucking David Otunga series that we talked about than
You mean the one that premieres next week live on River
No,
City
we're
Rap?
not. Okay, we'll get to the injuries. So Santos Escobar recently said that he will be out recently on AAA.
No. He said River Betty Rat. What is that?
Yeah, we're on to the next segment, Ken. Get over it.
We should.
Said River Betty Rat.
Honestly, dude, we should have taken his advice and just gone on to talking about the Cinderella tournament. I don't know what we're doing here.
Look, Santos Escobar has a torn tricep. He'll be out for a long time. Also, Toni Storm has undisclosed injuries or one injury or multiple injuries, and she'll be out for a long time. And also Leila Gray,
the baddie.
You know Leila Gray, the baddie.
The baddie.
Will undergo ACL surgery. She tore her ACL in December. So what the fuck? Why is she just now getting surgery? What's up with that?
You know, I saw this woman walking up the stairs where I work, and she was like, "Yeah, I tore my ACL and MCL," and she just walking. I think you can walk on it for a while. So she must have just been like, "I'll take a break
from." But you can't be a pro wrestler.
I'll take a break from wrestling for a bit, and then I'll get my surgery.
That's not how that works.
Do it in the other order.
Yeah, I know. I'll come right back after I do the surgery too.
I mean, it worked out for Jason Tatum, so fuck.
She's a baddie, though. I trust her.
With your life?
The baddie.
She's the baddie.
Well,
shout out Leila Gray.
Shout out Leila Gray.
Big
well,
fan
that
of
is
the show. Not a friend of the show, but a fan.
Unconfirmed, but I like the sound of it.
She's just a fan.
Damn.
Not even one of our sources. We could get good information from her.
Young hoes love Riverbed Wrestling.
I don't. We don't speak. He doesn't speak for us.
I don't know, man. That sounds like it'd be good on a T-shirt. So I might hear that out.
I don't know. I don't want young hoes on me.
Well, not that young, but like, come on.
I want regular. I want hoes in my age bracket.
Well, yeah.
Young hoes only know how to cook on the highest heat setting on the stove.
Okay, well that's just misogynistic, and I won't stand for that.
I want hoes that, that pay taxes. On my.
I had to explain to someone at work
watching this
what the CRA is today, and the CRA is basically the IRS in Canada. So
you had to explain that to somebody who pays taxes?
They didn't know.
Wow. That is fucked up. Well, that is the news for today, and we will get on to some highlight matches from this week, mainly from one Stardom, as they recently just wrapped up their Cinderella Tournament for 2026, and yeah, we got some matches to talk about, don't we?
Yeah. So this is a very large tournament. This is the second biggest tournament in Stardom for the year. This is a single elimination tournament, so there's a lot of people in it. It lasted 5 days over the course of like a week or so, and there's a decent bit of matches to talk about. Really a storyline that felt prevalent throughout the entire cup, as to say. And that is the story of the three sisters of Stardom. Now, you've probably heard us talk about this before, but for a refresher, you have Hanan, the oldest sister, all in yellow with their yellow hair and yellow gear. She's about 21 years old, I believe. And then you have the twins, the younger sisters, Hina and Rina. Hina being a member of God's Eye, right? And which is like the more striker MMA faction, while Rina is a member of Hate, the heel evil faction. And right now, of course, Hanan's further along, so she's being positioned pretty well. But Rina and Hina, of course, same age, they're twins. And it seems like Rina's, a little bit higher, but Hina's trying to bridge the gap throughout this tournament. And Hina has some pretty interesting matches, like against Azusa Inaba, who is in her own right a younger sister. And they had a really fun match with a good dynamic of, they're trying to outshine their siblings and have their own legacy. And it felt like they had some intensity to the match through that. And of course, you also had a few other matches like Akira Kurogane versus Rina, which was pretty good as Rina moved on throughout it. Rina really, I felt, was probably the MVP of this tournament. I don't know if you would agree, Sebi.
I mean, it's hard not to see that. Yeah, I mean, she's been putting out a lot of like high caliber output of matches for like a couple of years now, and for sure, like, I feel like it's a bit of a misnomer for like people who aren't in the know of Stardom to say like she's part of the heel group, she's part of this big bad faction, but let's be honest here, she's pretty darn over, and she's getting cheered like a white meat babyface out there half the time. So yeah, she's definitely gotten a ton of like great matches. We saw like a couple of hers from last year that we were pretty high on. She's already staking her claim for some dope ass matches this year, one of which we'll get further into. And with
couple more. She had another match against Sayaka Kurara earlier in the semifinals round or the quarterfinals round. That was probably the match of the night for that night. She probably had maybe 2 to 3 of the 5 nights. She was match of the night. I think that's all the evidence you need. She's fantastic. And of course, yes, that leads into the finals, which, after Hina loses to Miyu Amasaki in the quarterfinals, here we are in the semifinals to move on. Hanan's already moved on to the finals. She's moved all the way through. We have Rina facing Amasaki, who just beat her twin sister previously. But this time, Rina gets the victory. So she moves on to face her sister in the finals. Hanan versus Rina. Older sister versus younger sister. And the winner is the winner of the entire tournament. And they get a wish to wish for anything they want. Dress and have like flowers and stuff.
That's also cool, you know?
This match is a banger. I mean, it's what you might expect from 2 younger opponents, 2 athletic opponents. There's a bit of a lack of substance, to be honest. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't looking for way more from a match with the dynamic that was at play. But they're young. They'll figure it out, at least the mental aspects. But a lot of it still, despite a real focus, was just great. I mean, they were just throwing bombs. It was like they were training against each other and just having fun out there. It was like a video game. It was very sister versus sister training almost, but in a great way that led to one of the best Cinderella tournament finals in the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, with these two, they definitely there is that aspect of like you wish there was a bit more, you know, selling or grit to it, but I felt like the urgency was still there, and also like with the amount of like bombs that they were throwing and like just the pace that they were at, it definitely did feel like they had like, you know, this sort of match before, and maybe like their backyard or something like that. Like this is when, you know, you have 2 younger, you know, you have your sibling opponents, best friends who've known each other for a while. They will have a banger ass match. This is the match that they had in their head of like, gosh, when we main event someday, this is gonna be our match where it has a bunch of bombs and shit. And you could see that on their face. They were giving no quarter to each other throughout this entire match. They were just at each other's face the whole way through. Just no foot on the gas, on the brake pedal at all, full on the gas. And it was just absolute, like, it was a blast. It was just a lot of vicious fun. Like, there were so many like off-looking bumps in this that were just nasty. They were quick with it. It was just a really good match. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh, and Hanan won.
Yes, dude.
The older sister in the end gets the victory.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna pat myself on the back here a little bit for getting my stocks in right before the win, but I will say, just all in all, I'm happy she won, and she's on a great trajectory right now to be able to be one of those future aces that she is going to be.
And Rena's great too. Rena's the MVP of the tournament. Rena may not have won the tournament, but she's the MVP for sure. Congratulations to Hanan. That's a full tournament down. The Cinderella tournament had a good few matches to check out, but especially that final. You should really look at that. That's a must-see match, especially with all the stakes involved.
Indeed. Yeah. Do you have a specific rating for that? Do you have any numerical value to add on to your nuanced takes?
We'll leave that for the best of the month.
Ooh.
Coming up in a couple
weeks.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Please stay tuned.
Please stay tuned indeed. Well,
I had a question. Did they have backyards in Japan? That's all I was thinking when you said backyards.
Yeah, of course they have backyards.
Okay, glad to hear.
That's it for the first half of the show, our news segment, some highlight matches from this week. Why don't we get on to the next segment?
Oh, you said there's going to be new music. Is that it?
It's halftime, and we have the Sonic 3 cast reveal.
No, we do not.
Finally. So there's a big controversy. Wade Whipple is not returning. Now, what do you think, Sebby?
I don't have a single fucking ounce of care.
Can you believe it? He's the heart and soul of the Sonic franchise, Wade Whipple. I mean, come on.
He really is.
Have you ever seen the Knuckles show?
We're
adding this to the boycott list. We're adding this to boycott.
No, we're not. Wait, what?
Oh. What do you mean Sonic 3 cast reveal? That movie came out.
And now it is time for our halftime segment, and this week we got some subscriber comments to go through. We got quite a bit here. Thank you guys again for making our last video our highest viewed episode yet, and we'll be shouting out some of the people here who made that all possible. First one up here is from Joe Carbs 8981 on YouTube. Go give him a follow if you want to. He said, and I now unsubscribed as of the 33-minute mark. Feel the wrath. That is in response to me selling my Harley Cameron stocks. But then he commented later, thanks to King, I resubscribed. So there we are. Thank you, King. We almost lost a subscriber there, but...
Saving your ass.
Yeah, indeed. Next up, we have a commenter by the name of Mikey Carbs 20. Not sure if there's any relation there. He said, that Jimmy Kimmel pun deserved much more laughs. So, thank you again, King. He also commented that Tim Burton lumberjack pun deserved more as well. King is firing all cylinders here. So, I'm starting to think, after reading two comments, that people like King. I
think I'm just the GOAT.
Maybe.
I think there's a lot of Kang marks here.
Yeah. And now, we have our last comment here.
You should make your own YouTube channel.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that work.
We have our last commenter here.
We could play like a golf video game together.
Yeah, that'd be hype. Last commenter here, classic on the subscriber comments segment. We got the notorious DRC, in which he states, might be time to sell Brandon stock quick before any more of his passing out shenanigans.
Yeah, can you guys comment nice things about me instead? Thank you.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good this week.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You are, but you know that me falling asleep was the draw of the podcast. That's why I got the most views.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because under that comment that Darcy posted, there's somebody on YouTube named @Bardanini who said, little does he know me falling asleep is a draw. Wait, is that you?
What? Sorry, I cut out. That was my ringtone.
What was that?
That was his ringtone, I guess.
That's my ringtone. Sorry, I was getting a phone call.
What a crazy ringtone. It just sounds like your voice.
I recorded it.
Really? You made your own ringtone? And you have it like out in public?
I usually set it to vibrate.
And where do you put it?
I made my cock.
Let's get on to the next segment, our main event segment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event segment for the show, and we are, of course, going to be talking about the recent AEW pay-per-view, Revolution. That just happened this past weekend on March 15th at the Crypto.com Arena. Let's call it the Staples Center.
Horrible name. I can't believe every week we have to hear Crypto.com Arena in some sport event.
Well, let's hear it out, because it is the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, where we have AEW Revolution for 2026 this year. And, boys, want to get going into it?
Do they sell the easy
I'm
button?
glad that you have MS.
No. That's the first match, isn't it?
Well, no, it's on the pre-show. I mean, technically, it's the first match on the show.
Actually, I don't want to get into it.
You don't want to get into it. Door's right there, pal.
Because I want to get into something different.
Oh, you want to get into something different? What do you mean by that, pal?
Because the night previous, Saturday, the day before his match against Bandito at AEW Revolution.
Oh, shit.
Andrade, El Ídolo, had an absolutely boisterous banger against one Mascara Dorada. This match is a must-see, talked-about match. Must be talked about match. I mean, Andrade might be the best in the world. We'll talk about Bandito's match against him later, but this is pretty much a tune-up for the very same match that he'll have against Bandito the night later. But honestly, it's more simple, and I think maybe even more effective of telling that story. I mean, there's really nothing personal to it besides a history that Andrade has with Dorada's mask. But they tell the story of Bandito versus Andrade less muddled. And like I said, I'll explain a little bit more later. But there's some insane fucking spots in this match. And also, like, one of my favorite spots of the week, Don Callis punching Dorada, I believe during commercial, on the outside. And he hurts his hand. And he's like, he hurts his hand real bad. He's like, and he starts pouring water on it. And Lance Archer's like, that's why you got me, boss.
That's tough.
It's great. A lot of the best part of this match is during the heat, which is during the commercial. Like, Andrade gets MJF's, he finds a fan in the crowd that has an MJF scarf, and he grabs it and puts it on, starts, like, parading around and shit. And he's, like, tossing Dorada on the barricade and on the table and going crazy. Great match.
Yeah, with this match here, it's just another peg in the gear that Andrade's had, and he's just like one of the best in the moment guys that like currently wrestling, because he just knows how to carry that swagger on him. Like people have pointed out that in the years previously, he is the biggest conflict about him is he wanted to get booked like a star, and people didn't see it that way. And now he's proven himself to be that top star, and he's had an insane match output this year because of it. Case in point, this match here, where not only did it have, like, you know, the massive amounts of flippy shit that I love, but also it had the substance to make it a fucking wrestling match. And it just made Andrade seem like an absolutely cool ass heel, but also made Dorada look like a convincing babyface. And what more could you want from an on-paper match than it to come out as good as it did here? Yeah, definitely one of those banger-ass collision matches that you gotta go out of your way and see. Well, the fight feed specifically to see that heat segment.
Always gotta watch the fight.
Or wait a week for Max.
Yeah, you could do that.
Or wait a week.
But yeah, that was the collision before Revolution, and now we'll talk about the 0 hour before the main show on Revolution. Not much to say here, except Boom and Doom defeated the Infantry in a Big Boom AJ match. You know what you get out of this sub 10 minute. Costco guys, if they're not your cup of tea, I get it, but we bring the boom.
Shane Taylor knocking down the Rizzler was so fucking funny.
That
shit went viral.
It did. People were pissed off. They were getting fucking pissed at him because they killed like our modern day Shirley Temple, bro.
That's more of my comfort character.
I know. And another comfort character that we all love, Willow Nightingale defeated Lena Cross on the pre-show. Not much here on this match, but glad that Lena Cross gets some time in singles competition to shine. And also, it is worth noting down that after the match, Willow got the shit beat out of her, injuring her shoulder, and that will lead to more stuff later on the main show. And right before we went on the air for the main show, we had the 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal for the AEW National Championship, which was won by Jack Perry defeating Ricochet and getting the National Championship, which bled into the main show. So,
before we start the main show, I want to do another referee prayer for the OVW ref. So if you would, with me, starting right now. 1, kick out!
What? Damn!
Kick out at 1?
Kick out at 1. They keep abusing this.
No! Kick out at 1? How many times are we going to see that tonight?
I think a few too many.
Well, why don't we see where that happens at? As the first match on the card here, we have FTR facing off against the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And this match here was one of the best ones on the show. I had a good old time with it. You guys seem to like it, from what I can tell, a tiny bit more than me. But I still conclude that this is the best FTR and Young Bucks match that has happened in AEW. And personally, for me, I think that sometimes whenever these two teams get paired up against each other, sometimes the chemistry can be a bit hit or miss, but they're both still professionals to work out a good to great level match. This one here is just a straightforward great match. Gang, can you give me the rundown on this?
Yeah, I mean, I know Brandon really, really loves this. I think he would agree with me that this is probably the best match of the night. They worked a classic tag match for really 2/3 of it.
Yeah, what a match.
FTR cut off the ring. Nick Jackson got the best Crimson Mask of the night, and a night that had a lot of Crimson Masks. And the Bucks kids were in the front row, which made it even more gruesome. Everybody in the match winds up getting color. Great. And then I feel like the stretch of the Young Bucks insanity, the woke agenda, that only comes after building a lot of tension that bursts out into what the Young Bucks do best. So I really thought that it was actually done in a very great way to deny us what the Young Bucks are until they can do it, which is great. And then, of course, there's there is a kick out at 1. But it was also a reference to prior kick out at 1s, and it was their move to kick out
of. Keep getting away with trigger.
It. So it makes sense, and it's the only one of the night as of this point, and it's the two tag teams of this generation in their big blow off match. It makes sense. Honestly, it's also a Young Bucks match. I kind of expected it to a certain extent, and it was really less than I expected of what the Young Bucks kind of wind up doing. They got limited a bit by FTR, and I think in a great way. So yeah, great fucking match. Best of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, what do you have to say about this match? I heard you liked it. I heard you liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it had a feeling. I'm a big mark for the big tag team matches from the NXT Black and Gold era, and it had that kind of feeling to it. I think FTR kind of probably took control with the format of a lot of the match. A lot of good heat. A lot of good stopping stuff. To punch him in the corner and sell. Oh my God! I almost forgot that Nick Jackson is like the greatest wrestler being held back by his older brother. Poor guy.
Who's that sound like?
Mario?
Oh.
And Luigi?
What? Wild ass
your boat, man.
Wild ass take, but I'm kind of fucking with it. I'm not gonna lie. But
yeah, it's like it was a really good match, and it's yeah, we'll see what happens next. I guess FTR won, and as we saw on Dynamite this week, it's Open Cage have next. Feels bad, man, being from Toronto.
Well, I will say, like, with this match, like, FTR winning after all of, like, the family, the family dynamic that was set for the theme of the match. I'm not saying it was the wrong choice, because I do like FTR is just, like, beat them down heels that suck the air out of the room whenever they win. I do find them to be a legitimate act in that regard. More or less with them, it just, I don't know, like something about like their reign just has felt kind of off, and mainly it has to do with just like how it's felt like they've been waiting around for, Cope and Cage to come back after just time off. So it is one of those things where AEW kind of hits the sticky key and like, keeps their original plans for booking, even though it kind of stretches shit out. But I do think more or less with the upcoming Dynasty show that Cage and Cope will lose, and then that'll lead to a big old triple team blow off, probably in a TLC match, because those teams, and it'll be at All In, which should be a bonkers, stupendous time. So
and Edge will fly off into the sunset.
Finally, goodbye, Edge. R.I.P. Thank you for Metalingus.
He'll jump from the top of a ladder all the way to the table.
They're not from Toronto, actually. They're from Orangeville. So
they are from Orangeville.
What is that in relation to Toronto?
Not close.
Okay. Well, we will get to the next match here on the pay-per-view.
Fucking hate Orangeville. Anyone who's from Orangeville deserves to go to hell and die.
Okay, man. What if we get like an outside viewer who's like from fucking Orangeville, man?
Sucks to be them. I feel bad for them.
I need their AdSense, man. What are you supposed to do in Orangeville?
Must suck.
Yeah, so we gotta help bring them joy by talking to refs. Well, we can help them out before then. They don't have to be destined for hell and be sad the entire time. They can go. They can enjoy our podcast. Some of
that mother's milk.
Indeed. Well, let's get to that match. We got Marina Shafir taking on Toni Storm, and it was an all right match. I enjoyed it. Not much to say. I know Kang, you enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought both participants played the roles really well, and sub 10-minute match. But I feel like with the time that they were working with, they were able to show off their arsenal and present a good array at hand. Good for a second match on the card. Kang, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it was a really good match. They some stiff strikes Shafir landed, and also really good limb work. And I think Toni Storm is a fantastic seller.
Is she okay?
Well, we'll see. I mean, undisclosed injury. She's not okay. Actually, we know. Never mind.
Yeah, we had the.
We'll not see.
We had the injuries early on.
Yeah, it was a really good match, but I mean, nothing to write home about necessarily, but definitely don't skip it if you're gonna go watch Revolution.
Yeah, and then we got to talk about this after the match. Ronda Rousey showed up, which sent the internet space into an absolute dumpster fire. So here's the weird kind of dynamic with that sort of thing. She hasn't gotten the graphic yet. I don't think she's going to be a consistent participant in programming. If she were, then I'd probably be, along with the sentiment of why the fuck is she here? But we were in California, we were in Los Angeles. She's just probably there to like just be there with her pal and also just like promote her, appearance. Though it was being laid on pretty heavy, like post match, I will say. So, not our like. What are you guys' take on this? Because I feel like one way or another about it, depending on what the course of action is going onwards. But if she is like a consistent signing, I'm not too optimistic about it.
I mean, she's in the Death Riders. That motherfucker Moxley and Claudio are miracle workers. You know what I mean? So, I'm not really optimistic for it, but I don't count her out because she's transphobic, or whatever. Like, I don't really care about that kind of thing. She's a wrestler. Wrestlers suck.
Yeah. They get dropped on their head for a living.
So, and she's had stretches of her career where she's been kind of, entertaining. She's had stretches of her career where she's been pretty bad. The ROH match she had, the tag match she had with Marina against, it was Athena and Billy Starks. It was pretty good. She was pretty good in that match. So I wouldn't mind it for a one or two off appearance. And if she does really good, I mean, yeah, that's a star.
Yeah, I mean, with her as a potential signing, like even with like the ideas at hand that were present at the pay-per-view when she showed up, they might be like kind of out the window depending on like how they adjusted to Toni Storm's injuries and how long she'll be out. Yeah, I just don't. I have a hard time seeing like what is seen by either Toni or the execs who wanted her in, because like I get the name value sort of thing, but also like it's 2026, like I don't feel like bringing in the fucking Danica Patrick of MMA is gonna be that much of a needle mover as it was in like 2018.
Oh, daddy.
She's got a massive event a fight that she's promoting, that she's about to be in, that's gonna draw a lot of viewers.
Super fight. Who is he fighting? Gina Carino?
I don't know. I just think like the give or take of like the pros and cons of her showing up is more like dependent on like the Death Riders being a rehab unit for her story, and I just think there's better usages of time for the Death Riders to do. But we'll get into the Death Riders here as Jon Moxley faces off against Konosuke Takeshita in a no time limit match for the Continental Championship. I enjoyed the hell out of this match. HBO Max, go fuck yourself for spurting out during the last few minutes. But I went back, rewatched it, and had a good-ass time with it. Now, we will discuss here the main issue with it, that on the lighter end of said criticism, we'll say that this is probably the third best match that they've had out of the past three. However, there's still a lot of meat on the bone here to work with here. The problem that arises specifically with this match, a lot of the bombs weren't following through. There was a ton of that sort of no selling, get out
match.
Yeah, there was those spirit moments where it didn't feel like there was a lot of spirit that was being presented out in those spirit spots. And it might be getting to like one of those like overused tropes and like epic matches that is kind of starting to drain on me a little bit, where, a kick out at one or taking a move and then like fighting back if it's not being rewarded properly. Like there's some guys who can just like, get dumped on their head, get back up, and you're just like, oh yeah, of course that guy would do that. He's a beast. And not saying neither of these guys aren't beasts, but I'm just saying, like, within the context of the match, it kind of felt unrewarding.
It was unrewarding. They took it too far on multiple occasions. Like, I mean, I have a litany of problems with this match. I mean, it's still a pretty good match. The two have chemistry. The two are two of the best in the world. But at the end of the day, man, it was kind of annoying. Like the limb work at the start, it's better in the match previous. All that. I prefer the match previous his first 10 minutes to this is first 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the second act of this match was
no selling.
pretty
Takeshita
good.
doesn't really sell, or he doesn't really sell in this match in general. In any way, he doesn't register anything for. You need to sell to register the impact of fighting through the pain.
I'm okay.
For their fighting spirit. And there was a clear lack of that throughout multiple segments in this match that it irked me. Especially this being, the third match and the second kick out at 1. Yeah. 3 matches, 2 kick out at once. And the second match was a sub 10-minute match. You know what I mean? It wasn't even like a really long pay-per-view match. Back to back almost. Kick out at ones. Mox kicks out of the finish, kick out of finishes, and it was a lot, and it was too much.
Yeah, I felt like the story present of like Takeshita like fighting through a lot of what Mox had like on paper seemed pretty good. I feel like Moxley having to fight through Takeshita himself went pretty well. Takeshita looked like a beast at points. It just would have hammered the point home if there was just a bit more effective selling.
I just expect more from them too.
Pretty much. Next match here, we have the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship match as Babes of Wrath defend their titles against Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. Now, this match is about 5 minutes. It's pretty much an angle match where Harley Cameron gets tossed to the wayside. Bayne and Cross take advantage of Willow and her injury from being a fighting champion and take the belts in convincing fashion. Not much to say beyond there, but effective in what they need to do.
Yep. Sorry, Harley. Sorry, Barry.
Sorry for Harley rockin'.
Next match here, we have Swerve Strickland facing off against Brody King in a singles match. Now, this match here, it did have, I'll say up front, it did have a 1 count kick out.
Whoa! But I actually kind of like this one.
I did. I like 1 count kickouts when they're good. I don't need to see 3 of them on the first 4 matches of a pay-per-view. That's just...
And then there was also
Tony Khan, get your act together.
Somebody returned at the end of every match.
Oh yeah, also we did need to talk about that.
Yeah, because we did talk about Cage and Cope. We did talk about Ronda.
They returned at the end of the first match.
Yeah,
it was like 3 matches in a row. They had the lights go out and somebody returned.
Yeah, and then at the end of the Mox and Takeshita match, we all of a sudden see Will Ospreay in the primordial soup recharging, and then he comes out there barrel full of fire and then almost fucking breaks his neck again. Which, I mean, it's dumb, but also like it's so beast. I'm sorry.
The best because he's the craziest.
Exactly. Now we can get on to Swerve and Brody King proper now.
Who's the most dangerous?
Most dangerous. This was a heavy-ass match. A nice change of pace for the first couple of matches here where you had some big old bomb epics from some lighter opponents with some nice flippy shit in the first part. We had some nice strikes in the Continental match, and now we're at the singles match here where everything feels heavy. This is a brawling type of match. And there were some sick-ass bumps that were going on here. I love me a good old Brody King match. Whenever somebody faces on him, you know what kind of match you get. He's kind of like American Ishii in a way, where when you face him, you play to his style, and it's always a hefty time. And with this match here, there was just a ton of just fuck yeah spots, maybe want to run through a wall, and just a lot of power moves that make both men look like absolute heavyweight beasts. Now, I will say here, towards the end of the match, there was a sequence where Swerve hit a vertebreaker to Brody King on the outside on the exposed floor. and this garnered a near countout. And then they did another sequence in the ring, the 1 count, and then Swerve ended up putting him away. This is like probably the one time in my life that I can kind of recount where I might have preferred the countout finish, because that vertebraker on the outside
would have been better.
Yeah, the vertebraker on the outside was brutal, and it would have been, you know, convincing to have Brody King counted out there, and that would have led to maybe another match between these two down the line to show some, you know, unproven, you know, have a story about, you know, an unproven victory or what have you. There could have been more meat on that bone there. I'm sure they'll face again. Like, that match was epic, and I'm sure Toni can recognize that as another rematch candidate there. But bit of a nitpick there. Otherwise, had a good ass time with this match, and it definitely presented a different pace for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and the kick out at 1 was, you know, it was a last gasp type of thing. It wasn't a let's keep going. It was a, you know, I kicked out. I'm here still, and then he gets hit with whatever it was, house call or
Swerve call.
And he pretty much loses almost instantly after doing it. So it works out, that kick out at 1, but also just don't even do any of that. Just have him lose by being knocked out and not getting back in the ring before the 10 count. Because you have these rules for a reason. You might as well use them from time to time. Yeah. Pretty impressive to knock a man out that he can't get back in the ring. And also, if he stayed knocked out for a long time, even after the match, and they had to, like, you know, stretcher him out or something, who's the most dangerous man? Swerve.
Indeed. Let's get on to the next match here, as we have the AEW Women's World Championship on the line, as the recently crowned champion Tekla faces off against the former champion Chris Statlander in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. I had a good time with this match. I felt like the finish was a bit, you know, repetitive and disappointing, but I felt like they were able to work it well through. I felt like the structure of 2 out of 3 falls matches, when they usually go the, you know, short singles match, longer portion of the match sort of thing, can kind of get waning on you once you see them a lot. But I felt like they worked well with the structure here, and I felt like both are still high-level performers working during their prime years. So it's still pretty good. Tekla's on a run right now. She's charismatic as all hell. Chris Statlander should be...
on the mic.
It is awesome. Should be utilized better in the division. And, yeah. Good selection on this paper. She just did. But also, like, I feel like... there's been... No, it's fine. It's fine. We can talk about it here. I feel like Chris Statlander, she has had some upward momentum for the actual rankings for the division. I feel like more or less her specific issues with the booking tends to be indicative of, like, the division at large, where it kind of feels messy at times. It feels unfocused at times. And she unfortunately seems to get short end of the stick at times. But overall, she's still, you know, former world champion and still on high-profile matches. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but still, I feel like there could be a bit more, how do I put this? A bit more cachet in the minds of the people making the stories. Maybe something like that, yeah. But what are you guys' thoughts on the 2 out of 3 falls match?
Good je ne sais quoi in this match.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, it was solid. It wasn't anything to write home about. It was I prefer I prefer Toni Storm and Rina Shafir, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But still, it was all right. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say
I stand with Kang.
I probably prefer this match, but it's not the biggest gap in the world between those two matches.
Oh.
But I will say this. This next match here was a low-key banger on this card. We got to talk about the Trios match for the AEW World Trios Championship, as the Don Callis family, consisting of Okada, Fletcher, and Mark Davis, faces off against Jet Speed, comprised of Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, along with not Hangman Page, but Mystico. This match was a banger. I enjoyed the hell out of this one. Kang, give me the rundown of this.
This is one of my favorite matches on the card for sure. There's the story throughout the match. It really feels like this. It's Aussie Open versus Jet Speed, and then Kazuchika Okada versus Mystico, and that's kind of what the match is. I mean, a lot of the greatness of it is Kevin Knight. I won't lie, but also I'm a mark, bro. Okada and Mystico. Anytime they stepped in the ring together, I was freaking out. But
that's how it should be when there's two top guys in the ring together.
Aussie Open, Jet Speed. Everybody knows these are two of the best tag teams in the world. Obviously, their tag team match could be an all-timer, and you add Okada and Mystico. It's great. It is a very fast-paced, fucking AEW crazy, insane match. It's not the best match of the night, but it's up there with the most fun for sure.
Yeah, you can show this match to anybody and they just appreciate the hell out of it. Just chaotic, just fun, a good old trios match that you expect from AEW. And in the end, we got new trios champions with Kevin Knight, Mike Bailey, and Mystico. Mystico is now a champion in AEW. And not only that, he is now officially on a dual contract with both CMLL and AEW. So we're going to be seeing a bit more Mystico in AEW. And I just got to mention here with this match, he sold this victory like he won like every world championship on the planet all at once. Like, it was a bit overdramatic, but like just the way that he was like presenting it and just hugging Speedball at the end, like he's a worker, as they say. And
Speedball
goddamn,
is belting. Speedball is belting Memuero.
What a nice little victory for them, and what a nice addition to this pay-per-view. But I will say, this next match, this is, if the main event it wasn't the kind of match that people were looking for, this match right here is a lot of people's match of the night. We have here Bandito facing off against Andrade El Idolo in a singles competition. Oh boy, this fucking match here. Yeah, they went balls to the wall, fast-paced, frenetic flow, just a pure flow state of just spot after spot action, and Bandito, just one of the best on the roster. Andrade on an absolute tear right now. Just an absolute showcase of what these guys can do, and just being able to break physics one sequence at a time. How do you guys feel about this match?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about Andrade versus Dorada the night before. Of course, Dorada's a little bit, younger and less established than Bandito, so he wasn't allowed to get as much as Bandito was and have it be such a back and forth match, which is why I kind of almost, like I said, I almost preferred Dorada because it was a more simple dynamic. But I almost prefer it. But at the end of the day, Bandito is a motherfucking baller. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Bandito did a goddamn, the fireman's carry into the heel kick, the axe kick variation insanity. And he also, of course, hit the 21 plex from a grounded opponent in Andrade, which was insane. And also, maybe the best spot of the match, despite me saying those two spots, was him failing to get his pants off and Andrade just coming and kicking him in the gut.
I fucking died when he did that, because it just like made sense in the moment to do so. Like, it worked. Like, did Bandito get a little geeked out of that? A little bit, but like, it was what the timing called for, and I found it to be a great moment for Andrade to take advantage of that. But yeah.
And man, Andrade taking his pants off got the biggest pop of the night, which I think That shows how much of an absolute superstar he is. You know, there's a little bit in this match that, you know, like they definitely, I feel like, have more they could give, you know? But I think for reference as well, the Three Amigos trade they had and the German suplex and shit. Unlike the Mox and Takeshita sequence that was similar earlier in the night, this one had narrative impact because of Andrade's neck due to the German suplex into the turnbuckle earlier. So it was a battle of Bandito just trying to break that neck down more and more, and obviously also not try and lose the Three Amigos battle. You know, he's Mexican, he's got pride. God damn it! It had a lot more narrative impact, and I can appreciate spots like that when they have actual impact. But they have a lot more left to show, I think, and I hope we get a rematch, maybe for the ROH World Title.
Maybe. I'd like to see that for sure. Well, let's get into our penultimate match here. A Tornado Trios match between Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong facing off against the newly signed Dogs, consisting of David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors. Now,
why
this
are they just called the Dogs? You can't just be called that.
Because woof. Arf.
We're the cats.
If you will. Meow.
Okay, so I don't know how we're going to do this. I don't know if we got some kind of weird sound effect you can put or some kind of video clip. But I got to tell you, this is where my spot of the week is. This match right here.
Wait, we have our own sound effects. What are you talking about? Just...
Whoa.
Keg spot of the week.
Yeah.
Clark Connors hits a spear to Darby Allin through the ropes on the ring apron to the outside. That, I mean, I don't know if you can put like a second clip of the GIF and not get copyrighted or what. I don't know.
Oh, they're coming after my ass. Either way, they'll find me.
It's insane, man. It's crazy. I mean, just watch it. If your first reaction to watching that isn't going, oh, or like, oh, or just something crazy, then I don't know. You have no soul. I mean, it's just a fucking, you can feel it in your bones, that spot.
Yeah, the only way you're not making any, like, noise by watching that spot is either if your, like, jaw is just agaped in shock from that, or if you're just, like, you know, you have one of those, like, guttural reactions, like, oh, fucking hell. Something like that. But for me, I was just going, ah! Because it was just like a Big E, like, you know, spear to the outside. Like, it was fucking wild. But with this match, like, as a whole, I felt like it was a good match. I felt like I was a bit more high on this match than the general public had to say about it. I will say, though, that it is kind of weird to have Dogs come in as, like, these big, you know, heel presence and kind of have them lose, like, out the gate. I know, you know, that they have been beating the shit out of Darby relentlessly, and they dragged him through the fucking desert, but I still think that there should be, tangible wins in place for them up front as they get in here. But they're still presented like beasts, like, in aesthetic at least, so that counts for something.
Yeah.
I feel like the Dogs...
I think the match was really fun, but yeah, I think people are lower on it because of the finish, because of booking or whatever, but yeah, I think it was a really fun match. Another really fun trios match on the card to break up all these long singles matches.
Yeah, and I do think, like, the Dogs, like, as a group have, like, you know, something there. I feel like they can definitely be some tangible assets for Tony to book consistently as a heel presence, because they just got something about them. They feel like a complete unit when together. And overall, I feel like, though that they didn't get the win here, I feel like they'll still be pretty present in the upcoming shows, because they just got something about them, man. And now we go on to the main event of AEW Revolution as MJF, the current AEW World Champion, faces off against Hangman Adam Page in a last chance Texas death match for the AEW World Championship. And if Hangman loses this match, he will no longer challenge for it. Now, I will say off the bat, in retrospect, this match was pretty long. So, just a heads up for anybody who wants to go back and watch this. It can be,
like
it does have
minutes,
a bit of it was 46 minutes. So, if you know the result of this match and you know the length of the match, it can be a bit of a, daunting test to get through on retrospect. But hey, I watched 90s All Japan. I'm fine with knowing the result and watching long ass matches. So I don't have an aversion to that. I get it if you do. With the content of this match, I didn't really have an issue with the pacing, at least from a live perspective. I mean,
I thought it was paced extremely well.
Yeah.
Despite it being very long, and it was a little bit too long.
It
was paced really well.
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Whenever I was watching it and it got to the end of the match, I was just like, well, we're getting to a half hour now. This is going on a bit long. It should wrap up soon. And then after the fact, I hear that I read that it's 46 minutes. I was just like, oh, well, okay. That was a bit more better pace than I gave it credit for. But as for the content of this match, basically, I'll put it to you this way. MJF came out in Terry Funk gear and played the chicken
gear.
Yeah, and he played the chicken heel roll throughout the first leg of the match, which I thought was a nice little wrinkle. As you know, for Hangman and his previous brushes with the Texas Death Match genre, he has garnered some insane output in that match stipulation. And a lot of it has been brutal, a lot of it has been vicious, but with this one here, there's the added wrinkle of MJF kind of wanting to be a little pussy sometimes, which makes for funny sequences such as glass being in the middle of the ring, then it being used as a weapon, and then MJF brushing it out of the way. Or like him with the window pane, such as where the glass came from, where he was ready to set it up, he was mocking to the crowd like, hey, I'm going to use this, hey! And then he just smashed it and then flips him off. He was just always cutting off the routes for chaos early on, but sooner than later, it catches up to him, and he is within the midst of the chaos. So much plunder, so much just gore in this match, and I had a great-ass time with it. What are you guys' thoughts with this match?
Yeah, I thought this match was fantastic. I thought it was paced really well. I mean, like you said, it had an insane plunder. I mean, the syringe spot, of course, was crazy. You could see the liquid didn't even get in his mouth. It was all the way poked through his lip. And, of course, I also thought the callback to the dog collar with MJF being really scared and not wanting to have it on was really good. I thought MJF's character work was fantastic. It's a great MJF performance. A really one of his best.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's
also the finish as well.
Dude,
is great, right?
Oh my god. So at the end, once they have the dog collar locked on each other, Hangman gets tossed over the top and then is stuck in a Hangman's position, not too unlike the Hangman's position that he has put several wrestlers in, and with the most recent example being one Jon Moxley at All In last year, where he won the championship off of. But this time it is MJF hanging the Hangman, and as soon as he passes out, he hits the camera, and you see that blood splatter on the camera, and soon enough, Hangman is counted for 10, and then MJF wins. He has defeated Hangman in the Texas Death Match, the match that he asked for, the match stipulation that Hangman asked for, and he can no longer challenge for that coveted AEW World Championship. And the pay-per-view ends with MJF standing right on top of Hangman, tied to a stretcher, ready to carry his injured body off, and the screen fades to black. that is AEW Revolution in a nutshell. Overall, I thought it was a good show with some obvious flaws at hand. But if you're looking for an AEW pay-per-view with some good matches, some great standout competition from the year of 2026, might as well check out this one. They always have a high batting average for the Revolution shows, even if this one is probably not amongst the tippity top of the best, but still a really consistent show. What are you guys' thoughts on the show overall?
Yeah, I thought the way it was structured was terrible. They front loaded all the fucking insanity at the start with the kickouts and shit. And then it got better as it went on, but it's like, you know, you spread that shit out. You could have spread the trios matches out. They were like very close together. There was a lot of problems with how it was put together. It's like they don't talk to each other backstage. But outside of that, like always, the content, the matches are usually really good.
Yeah. Well, Brandon, what do you have to say about AEW Revolution 2026?
I think we should start a revolution in North America. Let's rise up. But the show was pretty good. I always have a good time at AEW pay-per-views.
Indeed. Well, we will be back here with more AEW pay-per-views soon. And that's pretty much it for the show this week. Anybody got some final words to talk about? Anybody got some last-minute observations before we head on out of here?
No.
You ever see a homeless Chinese man?
Not recently. Why?
Yeah, you've seen one before in your life ever.
You don't really see them.
You don't really see them. If you're still watching and you're a real fucking fan, you've watched all the way to the end, let me know in the comments if you've ever seen a Chinese, or you know what, we'll just say East Asian person that is homeless.
You know what'd be crazy? Homeless Siamese twins.
That is it for...
And that's the show.
Yeah, that is it for Riverbed Wrestling episode 11. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening in. Always love this day of the week where we get to talk about some graphs, and I am always excited to do so. Again, next week on the show, we'll be discussing the New Japan Cup. It is indeed the midst of early year tournaments, and we are excited to cover them all, and we are excited to talk about more wrestling here on Riverbed Wrestling. See you guys next week. Have a good one.